Good afternoon, everyone. This is Valerie Baugh-Schlossberg, the Program Manager for Story Tapestries, and welcome to our 12 o'clock wonderful world of words today. First off, I want to start by saying I have a little comment about my previous colleague, Ariana Ross, our executive director, talked this morning about cultural appropriation and about the stories that we share and how some of them are our own, but many of our stories that we tell come from other people, other cultures, where we have permission to share that story. And I was thinking about this today, and I'd like to share a little bit about my history. Um, I don't really have strong ties to my cultural background for many different reasons. But what I do have is my mom is and was, my mother was a librarian for over 30 years. And what my mom did is my mom was the curator of books. So she was the one that helped, as all of you know, you're librarians, she was the one that learned all the different books that were around. She knew where to find information. She was able to recommend stories to other people. So in that instance, and then when she did story time, she shared those stories. So I'd like to start by saying I would like to have anyone who would like to, that has a story to share and maybe would like me to tell it at a different time, to either put, I will put my email in the comments. And what I'd like you to do is, if you would like me to share your story on Facebook or at another storytelling event, you can send me a story that you've written that's been passed down to you. Or if you also have like a favorite storybook that maybe you'd like us to read, please share that too. So I would like to continue the curation of story that my mother has done throughout her career. So that's something I just want to put out to everyone, that if you have a story that you'd like to write and have me or maybe one of our other storytellers share your story, that we can do that if you want. And then we can put a live voice to it. And if you want to share your story, you're always welcome to send me a video with all of your permission, with your parents' permission, with everyone's permission. Make sure that you're doing this freely, and that it's okay with any adult that you have. But if you'd like to share that story with us, then I can find, either myself will tell the story, or we'll find another storyteller to share it. So anyway, but today I'm going to share a story from, it was shared with me by our executive director, Ariana Ross, and she tells it often in her stories, in her shows. And we refer to it as the Chinese mountain story, or the China mountain story. So a long, 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 long time ago, there lived a very tall mountain. And this was the most beautiful, peaceful mountain in all the world. And that mountain, it was tall, it was beautiful. It would look out onto all the different valleys and see the hills, the trees, and many people would climb up the mountain. But oftentimes people would climb up that mountain and they would take a hammer to it and they would chip away at it, and they go bang, 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 bang. And they would take those stones all the way down the mountain and they would turn it into other things. And every day the people would come up and they'd chip away at the mountain, bang, 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 bang. And they would take the stones and they would move down. Well, one day that mountain, he was just done. He's like, I'm tired of it. You know what? It hurts when people take a little bit of me away down the mill. He's like, you know what? I wish that I wasn't a mountain anymore. You know what? I wish that I was a stone cutter, because if I was a stone cutter, I would know how to be gentle with the mountains, and I would only take what I needed. Well, what he didn't know is that in the clouds were the fairies of the clouds, and they were listening, and they heard the mountain swish, and they said, and so with a whoosh, the mountain all of a sudden became a stone cutter. And as the stone cutter, he would climb up to the mountain, and he would bang, 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 bang. He would take away the stone. He would do it gently. He would take it down. And day after day, he would climb up the mountain. He would bang, 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 carry more stone. Finally, one day he was like, oh my gosh, this is so much hard work. My back hurts all the time from cutting away at the stone. You know what? If I were the sculptor, then I wouldn't have to climb all the way up the mountain every day to bang, 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 bang to take away the stone. If I was the sculptor, oh, my life would be so much easier. I would get to create every day. So the clouds heard, and all of a sudden he became a sculptor. And every day he would take the stone, he would tap, 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 and he would carve away at it, and he would paint it. He would paint it, and he would paint it, and he's like, oh, it's so much hard work. I didn't realize that painting took so much detail and was so time consuming. You know what? If I was the merchant who sold all my beautiful sculptures, then my life would be so much easier. I would just get to sit in my chair, and people would come in and they would buy the sculptures, and they would go on their way, and they would be, oh my goodness, what a wonderful salesperson that has helped me find such a beautiful sculpture of like elephants and stone carvings of trees, or of hearts, or of so many different shapes that they could remember. Well, the fairies of the clouds heard, and whoosh! All of a sudden, the mountain, who used to be, the artiste, who used to be the stonecutter, who used to be the mountain, all of a sudden became the merchant. And he sat in his shop, and people came in and they bought sculptures, and it was so warm and so hot, and the days were long, and there was no air conditioning. It's like, oh my goodness, it is really hard being a shop owner. I have to sit here as people come in. I have to talk to them as they buy sculptures. Oh, it's so difficult. And he looked outside, and he saw the governor, who was the ruler of the county. And he said, oh, if I was the governor, I could sit in this wonderful chair, and people would come up to me, and they would tell me stories and share with me all of the things going on in their lives. So much better than being a shopkeeper. Well, the fairies in the clouds heard, and they made him the governor. And this governor, who was once the shopkeeper, who was once the artiste, who was once the stonecutter, bang, 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 who was once a mountain, was now in charge of all of his community. And as the governor, he would, of course, sit on a beautiful chair called a sedan. And people would come to him and tell them all the stories. But they would also come and tell him about their problems and all the things they needed. And the people would come and they'd say, Governor, Governor, there's not enough food on my table. What should I do? Governor, Governor, there's not enough pencils in my school. What should we do? Governor, Governor, my brother won't stop bothering me. Governor, Governor, my sister won't stop crying. And as governor, The mountain realized he had to listen to everyone's problems, and that made him very sad because he didn't know what to do. Well, and one day a farmer came in, and the farmer said, Governor, Governor, there is not enough water for our crops to grow. And so my family and the community is going hungry. Well, the governor, who used to be the shopkeeper, who used to be the artiste, who used to be the stone cutter, who used to be the mountain, didn't know what to do. So he raised his eyes up to the sky and he said, Oh, clouds, can you please provide some rain so that my community can eat? Well, the clouds heard. And of course, they made it rain and rain and rain. But what the clouds didn't realize is they didn't quite know how to stop. And so the rain came and the rain came and the rain came. And when the rain keeps coming, the rivers rose until there was flooding everywhere. And the governor didn't know what to do. And he was like, Oh, dear clouds, please make me a cloud again. Oh, I'm sorry. No, please make me a mountain again. Because if I'm a mountain, then the people can come up to the top and they can be saved by all the flooding. Well, the clouds heard. And of course, they granted him his wish. And he was once again a mountain. And so the people were able to come up and they were able to stay on top of the mountain. And as the rain subsided and the flood waters went down, and then the crops began to grow, the people went down and they returned. And as the mountain was sitting there, he realized all along that he was right where he was meant to be. He was meant to be a mountain, and that he had great purpose. And even though from time to time people might come up and they might take a little bit of him away, down so that they could create something else, so that they could have a memory of that mountain, he realized that he was happy and he had purpose right where he was, as a mountain. My friends, as Ariana likes to do, I'd like you to put your hands up straight and close a chapter on that story and give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, if you would like me to share your story, please email me at valerie@storytapestries.org and I will share your story. Thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.